Welcome back to part 3 of my modular castle series. Today we are building the main gate of the castle, the Courier's gate, using about 1000 pieces. As you might notice from the hands, this time the speed build wasn't done by me, it was built by my wife. We start as always by preparing the ground. I use various tiles for pathing, and there's a section in Dark 10 where the Courier's horse will later be placed. Next, we begin building up the walls. In the middle I leave a gap. This will later hold the grid gate. The gate mechanism is inspired by the Lionel's castle. Using Technic bricks with pins and lift arms, I create a guide for the grid to slide smoothly. Now I add the angled wall pieces, a technique you will recognize from the first two modules. After that I begin working on the interior. There's a desk with a letter, an ink bottle and a quill. This is where the courier writes messages before delivering them through the main gate on horseback. As you know from the first two modules, the interior details are important for me in this series. They bring every mock to life. On the right side you can already see the horse pen, with straw, some feet, a fence and yes, even some horse poop on the ground for realism. On the left side of the gate I add a small chair for the courier before continuing with the support columns for the gatehouse. This module is built to be much sturdier than the others. Instead of wooden beams, I use stone arches at ground level to represent the solid construction typical of medieval gatehouses. Now I move on to the upper part above the gate. By using wooden round tiles, I suggest that wooden support structures are built into the stonework. Then I prepare the windows in the same style as before. The arrow slits in the gatehouse are a bit tighter than those in Archer's Rest, simply because there is less space there. I'm using wrenches again for the window detailing. I really like how they look, but I know it's not the easiest part to get. I only have a few myself and had to dig deep into my collection to find them. So in future modules, I'll probably use fewer of them, or maybe order more if I plan to continue using this look. If you're thinking about building this mug yourself, keep that in mind. Either find alternatives or make sure you have some crossbars on hand. Now the left and right sides of the gatehouse are fully built up. I add a small bench for the guards and a barrel to store weapons. Then I move on with the 4 vertical support columns. A railing is added next to prevent the knights from falling, and I begin building the central section between the 2 towers. Here I use a half-timbered style combining white and reddish brown, which creates a nice contrast against the grey stone walls. Now it's time to insert the grid gate, a very important step since it won't be accessible later in the build. The design is again based on the Lionet's castle. On the back side, I built a similar timbered frame section. Then the upper floor of the gatehouse is constructed. In the center, I use blades and install the same mechanism for raising and lowering the portcullis, just like in the official Lego set. I really like how good it works. That is why I use this technique here. If you already own the Lionet's Castle set, you should have all parts you need to create this mechanism. Now I finish the timber framing at the top and start building the wooden floors inside the side towers. just like in Butcher's Corner, using the snod technique. One great advantage of this building style, the floors can easily be removed, giving you better access to the interior. In one of the floors, I have added an opening with a ladder, so that minifigs can reach the top level of the gatehouse. On the other side, I've placed a weapon rack with arrows to support the archers defending the gate. Next, I finish off the tops of the two towers. I use arches and curved slopes, similar to previous towers. Time for decoration. I add flags in red and yellow, the traditional Leonard's colors, and include some greenery for contrast. Finally, I add a hay bale for the horse and place the courier's cap and bag on the column. With that, the mock is complete. To finish, I want to demonstrate you how the gate mechanism works. Turning the gear raises the grid, and releasing the gear drops the grid back down. Here's the finished build, the Courier's gate, complete with minifigures. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next episode, The Deacon's Chapel, lux.bricks.